Welcome back, everybody, to Rob's MetalWorks. We are out here on the street, here at the Paper Tiger to support, man, one of the most legendary people out of the New Orleans scene. Have with me the Riff Lord, yes, man, Kirk Windstein of Crowbar and many other things that we're going to talk about tonight. Kirk, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Rob. Glad to be here, brother.
Man, I was telling you before we were rolling, it's been 25 years since you've been on our show, man. Too fucking long.
But you showed me the picture. We do look better, both of us now.
We look good.
I'm sure I'm actually a lot healthier now than I was 25 years ago.
For sure. And you look a lot sexier with that beard, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
The wife likes it. That's all I care about.
All good, man. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of time to chat with us today.
Absolutely.
Lots to cover. So let's get started. I was telling you I wanted to start off with Crowbar. Obviously, that's why you're here. That's kind of like your mainstay. You started Crowbar back in 1990, so you've had a long career with Crowbar. The last release that you had, Zero and Below, came out in 2022. So it's been a little while. Mm-hmm. But I remember that it took a little bit for that record to come out. I think the previous release was in 2016.
Yep.
So it had taken you quite a while.
That's honestly, you didn't mean to interrupt it.
Yeah, no.
The album was in the can, ready to roll, right before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, guys, we put out a record that we believe is a killer record with all this uncertainty, and we don't know what the fuck we're going to be doing. And we said, no, let's just wait until the time is right. So we waited till it pretty much cleared. So for us, we're really eager to start writing. We wrote in 2019 and in January of 2020, it was finished up really. So, we haven't written for Crowbar in a long time, so we're all eager to get to writing.
So it was just the pandemic thing.
Yeah, put it back 2 years.
Yeah,
it came out in 2020, and we probably have another one out by now. So
yeah, we'll get there because I think people are clamoring for something new from the band. So after this record finally came out, it did really well. I love this record. I want to say that I think it's the best sounding Crowbar record. Did you feel that?
I agree.
Yeah. Do you feel it was kind of pretty well received from people? Were they ready for it?
Yeah, very well. We every night we do the two video songs, Chemical Gods and Bleeding from Every Hole, and they go down great live. You see a lot. I can only see the first few rows with the lighting and shit, but people singing the lyrics, they know the songs, so they've obviously seen the videos, and and they go down great, and we love playing it. So good shit.
Well, you kind of a little foreshadowed a little bit, but will there be? Are you working already on a new Crowbar record?
Can't say we're working on it, but that's the game plan.
But you got riffs.
Oh yeah, we always got riffs. But when we get home, we have December and January off.
Nice.
And then we head to Europe for it's Napalm Death's 30th campaign for musical destruction tour that they do every year for 30 years now. And so we're direct support for Napalm Death, and I think there's a German band called Full of Hell, and then there's a band from the New Orleans area called BRAT that are starting to get a lot of attention. And they're really, really nice people and good band. They're actually playing with Crowbar. The last show of this tour will be the 29th of November, the day after Thanksgiving in New Orleans, and BRAT will be the direct support band. Cool. So looking forward to that tour. It'll be about 5.5 weeks or something. Not looking forward to the weather in February in Germany, and we're hitting like Sweden and the UK and Ireland. It's going to be cold and rainy everywhere and snow and whatnot. But fuck it,
Here in Texas, we're ready for the cold weather, man. It's barely starting right about now. Look at my cousin; he has a fucking hoodie on already.
I'd be
that
too
cold.
hot with that. Nah.
Yeah.
But the older I get cold easier.
Yeah.
I can. When I was younger, I loved the cold. But I mean, it's a whole different thing. I mean, I'm from New Orleans, and traveling as much as I do and we do. I mean, we've been fucking, in the wintertime to Russia and.
But you've experienced like real cold.
I mean,
like, we don't even fucking know what real cold
Canada
is.
in January, 40 below in Edmonton, and it's
no.
You can't even feel your face, even with gloves on your hands after.
It burns.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck this, If you're inside, that's definitely stay inside. With your partner weather
exactly.
and keep warm,
Exactly. Kirk, it's great to have you back in our parts, man. So happy to be here with you and talk to you. Obviously, because of where we are now, kind of almost in the middle of November, this will probably be your last run for this year.
Yep.
Right? So, and like you said, you'll be writing in December and January. What do you have planned for 2025? What is the plan?
For Crowbar, we start with the Napalm Death, first, and that'll be a big tour for us over there and cover a lot of territories in Europe. I'll have some stuff with Down in April, and Down's also playing Milwaukee Metal Fest in May, and then Phil gets back to the Metallica weekends.
Yeah.
So, and those that takes up most of his whole, summer. So, I'm going with another band I have called Sun Don't Shine with Todd Strange, the original Crowbar bassist, and Johnny Kelly and Kenny Hickey from Typo Negative. So it's really good stuff, and we're actually going to go to Europe for about, 10-day, 2-week little tour, play a few festivals, and it'll be our first time playing live. Fuck, we haven't even actually played a complete song in a room together.
Wow.
That's the truth.
Wow.
It was a kind of a get-together and writing type thing, and, we have 7-song EP coming out, so I'll be busy with that. In the meantime, my second solo record titled Ethereal Waves will be out very soon, and it came out great. So I've got Crowbar, Down, Sun Don't Shine, and solo stuff.
Yeah. When I announced that we were going to sit down with you, I had this guy message me or post, said, "Rob, asking about Sun Don't Shine." And I was like, "Sun Don't Shine?" I said, I don't think I've heard of that yet. And I had not until he had kind of mentioned it. But now that you're sharing it with me, it kind of seems like that kind of thing is like another supergroup kind of for you.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really, we like to think, us four guys, that it's not what people think when you got, half of the original Crowbar and half of Typo Negative. It doesn't sound anything like either band. So it's its own thing, which I'm very proud of, so.
Wow. Will Hickey be doing some vocals?
He's a singer, man.
Oh, he's the main singer.
When I heard his voice, I'm like, dude, you're the singer.
Okay, yeah.
So we do some call and answer, and we do a lot of vocal harmony.
Sure.
I told him I'm more nervous about trying to harmonize right with my gravelly voice, and he's got this high, clean, powerful voice, and he's like, "Oh, your gravelly voice blends good with mine. It'll be great." So, yeah, he's got an amazing voice. He really does.
Cool.
Great,
I'm glad to
sense
see
of melody. It's really great stuff.
I'm glad, to see that those guys are continuing to work and
Absolutely.
stay busy.
Well, Johnny plays with Quiet Riot, and he's been with them for a while now, and they pretty much play almost every weekend at
Is
festivals.
he still with Danzig?
No.
No.
In fact, I think Danzig doesn't do much now, and Johnny's, it's either quit Quiet Riot, which is a pretty much that's his his breadwinner, or and do like one Danzig tour and 1 or 2 festivals a year, So I mean, I think he made the right choice. For sure. But at least he got to play with Danzig and tour for a good day. So
you got to survive, man. Got to survive.
Absolutely.
Got to fucking survive. Did I read recently too that Crowbar's going to do the Headbangers Boat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Next year, 2025.
Yeah. Have you ever been on a show like that?
Yeah, we did this 70,000 tons of metal thing, pretty good while back, and it was a blast. It was a lot of fun, but this should be really cool.
You get sick on those ships?
I mean, they're big enough where even when it's rough seas,
You don't feel it too much?
Nah, not too bad. I mean, I got a pretty iron stomach as far as that shit goes, but we did play this little bitty boat in New York City that went out like into the harbor, and we went down to like by the Statue of Liberty and turned around and went under the Brooklyn Bridge at night and all. It was actually a very, picturesque thing, but it was miserable to play. It was no stage. It was a little fucking boat, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I got out on that thing, and it was rough, dude.
Yeah. I remember one time I went on one to do some gambling. They take people out do some gambling, and I thought, oh, this ship's big, I'm not going to feel it, but I did end up feeling it, and it kind of got me a little bit. So
yeah, but
I know some people are sensitive to
the
it.
cruise ship stuff is big enough where you really don't.
Yeah, I've never been on a big cruise ship like that. Never.
We take these ferries from like Sweden to Finland occasionally, and it's the same thing. It's got like all kind of shopping on it, and there's bars and nightclubs, karaoke, live bands, and the whole 9 yards. So it's fun, but and the same thing. You cross from the west side of the Baltic Sea over to Finland, which is on the right side, and in the winter and stuff, it's pretty brutal. Get out on the deck.
Wow, and it's cold.
It's ridiculously cold.
Damn Vikings.
Yeah, exactly. But now you know why they wore furs and had giant beards and shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Kirk.
And drank a lot.
Let's shift gears a little bit now. Let's talk. Obviously, I'm going to talk about Down. You mentioned Phil right now, and that you'll be doing some choice events with Phil and rest of the cats from Down. I do want to ask you, because I remember several years back, it was kind of publicized that you had decided to walk away from Down for a bit, focus on Crowbar and family, and then did you officially come back to Down? Was it in 2019?
They reached out to me in 2019 about the 2020 25th anniversary of Nola. And of course I was, it was just one of them things where it was kind of a mutual thing. I didn't quit. I wasn't kicked out. It was just kind of like, you know what? We need a break.
Sure.
But I mean, I've been there since day one, and I love the band, and I put my, my heart and soul into it just like everybody else. So, the way I look at it with Down is we knew each other. We all knew each other years before we formed the band. So it's kind of like we grew up as a bunch of punk-ass little kids into like grown men with families and, and whatnot. So, we've all been there in each other's lives for so long that, it's a special bond, So I'm really happy to be back doing that. So
when you did come back, how did you know you were ready to come back? Is there anything?
I mean, I was ready. It was more or less.
It had been several years, though. It had been a long.
Yeah, it had been from 2013
until
2020 when
7 years,
we started, rehearsing and whatnot. But so it was plenty long enough. At the same time, the love and the friendship and stuff never went away. In fact, we did 2 tours with COC, and I mean, me and Pepper really had a blast on that tour, on the 2 tours together. We weren't in the same band, so we weren't, working together, and it was just dudes hanging out, drinking beer and having fun and jamming, So we got on really great, man, and it was like just, it was kind of obvious it would work.
So that's
and do the Down thing.
That's so important, right? I mean the back end relationships that you have
with your
man.
It's your
bandmates.
Life.
Yeah. And then when it's not, take a break and come back. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, no more breaks for me. I'm too old for breaks. I'm trying to do as much as I can do, man. I don't stop.
Yeah. You mentioned Nola, 25th year anniversary. I always that record's always in my phone. Pretty, very significant record. Kind of definitely launched the career of Down. When you think back on that record, what do you kind of most remember about it?
I mean, Most all of it, except for maybe two songs, was written before we actually went in the studio. So it made that, made it easy. We had played those songs live, just doing, pop up little shows, opening for other bands and whatever here and there. So it made that really easy. But I mean, it was just a lot of fun. I mean, we were young. Next year, 2025, will be the 30th anniversary. So, I was 29 going on 30 instead of 59 going on 60. So, But, we had a blast. It was fun. And, we got along great. Yeah. The record process was great. And it's a classic record. It's a great record. I mean, most of our set list live tends to lean off of that record. Not that we haven't put out a lot of other great stuff with Down, but those songs were made for live, and those, that's really what, with the crowd. There's so many off that record that the crowd really wants to hear,
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's more comfortable. I think for Phil to sing, like on Nola. He was laying back a little bit more. It started getting busier, more lyrics, more, say high notes and whatnot here and now, and some other stuff on Down 2 and down 3 over the under. But so it's just, I mean, that album is made to play live, and it's definitely a classic. So I'm very proud to be a part of that.
You talked about, because of Phil's commitments with Pantera, which is obviously a super big thing, and I'm sure he's doing well there and he's loving it. Have you had a chance to see the new Pantera show?
I have. We played with him last June in Poland at a Metal Hammer festival.
Wow!
And it was very moving in a lot of ways. It was great, number one.
Right.
But it was an emotional thing because I was around the band from when Phil first joined in 1987.
Yeah.
And I was really good friends with Dime. Like, when I would go hang out with Phil, every 2 months or something, I'd fly to Dallas or, Arlington for a week or something and hang out and go watch them every night. And then it turned into a weekend thing. But, I'd hang out with Dime a lot as well. And, on tour, we toured with him a few times. And on tour, me and Dime always got along and just did a lot of goofy, stupid shit. So, it was very emotional to watch it.
Right.
But at the same time, it was great. And, I mean, they're definitely, there's no doubt that they're doing it for the right reason. It's not a money grab. People that say that can go, in my opinion, not to sound like a dick, but you can go fuck yourself because, they're doing fine.
They're doing, it's like an homage.
It's a tribute to the legacy of Pantera.
Right.
The brothers who are gone. And just the great, untouchable music that they made that really needs to be heard and experienced by this new generation. I mean, Phil said every night he asked people, all right, I want to know how many motherfuckers have seen Pantera before. And he's like, it's a good bit of people.
Yeah. How
many people is this your first time? And he goes, the place erupts.
Yeah, right.
So even like Shane, our bass player, it's like, I mean, they put out reinventing the steel, I think in 2000. So that was going, 24 years ago. So like our bass player is only 37, I think Shane is. So it's kind of like he never had a chance to see him,
right.
And there's so many younger kids who have fathers and mothers and fathers my age who, were fans of their whole career. And it's like, the kids are gone. It's a whole new generation of kids like experiencing Pantera and how great. I mean, they were a one-of-a-kind band. They're a once-in-a-generation thing, and that's just the way it is.
That's cool, man, because, these young kids, they hear about the legend of Pantera, and now they have the opportunity to experience those songs live.
It's great that, I think it's great that they do it, and that's why they're doing it,
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Yeah. I was really happy about it. I
mean, at first I was kind of like, there was a lot of talk about it.
Yeah.
And then when Phil told all of us guys in Down, and at first I was a little weird about it for maybe like a week or something, and then it hit me, and I'm like, this is gonna be great. I mean, and honestly, it wouldn't work without Zach and Charlie.
I was just about to say
they
that.
were such good friends with the band, and that's what they need, and that's I think that's the important thing is that it works with those guys, and it really works great. It's different, but still brilliant,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would have worked with any other two other guys.
I mean, I agree. It works.
Yeah.
And, now, God, they played so many shows now.
Yeah. Let's also, I want to talk a little bit more. You mentioned the solo record, your solo record, and let me just say, Dream in Motion is a fucking amazing record, bro.
Thank you, bro.
I love that record, and I remember when I first heard it, I was like, holy smokes, because I thought, it's going to be like a lot like, Crowbar, but it was just so much more serene for me, and your voice, there was a lot of melody in it, and you were like actually doing some more singing in there.
A lot. I mean,
Yeah.
There's really no hard vocals on Dream in Motion. On the new one, there's a line here or there that's kind of hard, but everything else is really melodic, and that's the whole thing. I listen to so many styles of music. I don't really, when I'm on tour, like we had 8 bands last night. We have 8 bands tonight. It's like the last thing I want to do is come on here and listen to heavy music,
Right.
And, so when I'm at home, I listen to classic rock and 80s pop, and just like I like 70s soft rock stuff and all that. So I have a lot of influences.
Aqualung.
Yeah.
So
that's one of my favorite songs ever, man. It was brilliant. Well, I didn't even know how to play it, so I told Dwayne, the engineer, like I tuned to D standard for that, where Crowbar it tunes to B standard and drop A on some stuff. But I tuned to D standard, and I said, I don't know. I said, we're going to do it out of the natural key. So let's just take it one bar at a time, and I'll pick it out. So I picked out the whole song, picked out the bass line, and changed up the middle a little bit to give it a little bit of my own touch.
Sure.
And then the guitar solo I did as close as I could get note for note to give Martin Barre the credit he gets on a brilliant classic rock guitar solo. You know? And I kept telling Dwayne I'd do like one bar at a time. Pick it out. Go, all right, go. All right, he's like, that was great. And I'm like, okay, that's the end, right? He's like, you're not even halfway done. I'm like, Jesus, the solo's long. And I read an interview with Martin, the guitar player, and he said they want to, like, hurry up. He goes, you basically got to get this in one take, so go. And he said he was nervous laying down the solo, but it's a great classic guitar solo to a great classic band and song.
Dude, I put that record on and I just let it roll.
It's amazing.
I just let it roll, and it'll roll like 3 times, and I'm still jamming to it.
Yeah.
Dude, it's great.
It never gets old.
Dude, it never gets old. Great record. So I'm really looking forward to the next record. Before we start talking about it, tell me just real quick, why did you feel compelled to do a solo record?
Because it's another side of my writing that I don't get to use in Crowbar or Down, or now even Sun Don't Shine is different. So I'm very lucky and blessed because I have, 3 great bands. Sun Don't Shine is not really heavy, but it's classic rockish. It's that was the idea. But Down and Crowbar are very heavy in different ways. But so I have that, and then I also have an outlet like my solo stuff where there are no rules. And I was really nervous upon the release of Dream in Motion because I'm like, people are gonna think, like you were saying, it's gonna probably be. But why would I do something that I'm not asking you in particular, but in general,
sure.
like why would you do a solo record that sounds like your band?
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. It's like if you're gonna do a solo record, it should be something totally fucking different.
Sure. And if you do a cover, you got to put your own little twist on it too.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell me again, Kirk, and for the people who might have missed it when you mentioned it earlier, the second solo record, what's the title going to be?
Ethereal Waves.
All right. Do you have a release date yet? Or when would you like it out?
Soon. We're kind of juggling between we're going to be ready to get it out at the end of this month. I think it could be I'm not sure the final word on it, or maybe first thing after the first of the year. Because, I mean, before you bat an eye, it's going to be Thanksgiving and it's fucking Christmas, you know.
Right.
Like, next year is coming quick, so. But it'll be out very soon.
Yeah, that's great, man. I can't wait to hear it and
it's a little
jam it.
different, not I won't say heavier, but a lot more electric guitar, heavier guitar tone stuff. But it's still the same. It's an extension of Dream in Motion. It's a natural progression of bringing in a few new elements. There's still some real jangly, ambient, melodic stuff, and then there's some stuff that's a little bit heavier as well.
Yeah, awesome. Can't wait to hear it, man. I was telling you about people hitting me up on social media about this interview, and another guy was, Rob, ask Kirk if there's going to be another Kingdom of Sorrow record.
I talk to Jamey all the time.
Well, you were on tour with him in Europe, right? In the summer?
We did, we did in 2018, we did a Jasta and Friends tour in Europe, like 2 weeks, and it was a blast. We had Dino from Fear Factory with us. We had Howard Jones that was in Kill Switch, for a while, Kill Switch Engage. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, Jamey, we did some Kingdom stuff in like one Crowbar song, and
nice.
we did Bury Me in Smoke at the end with everybody involved. So it was a whole lot of fun. It really was. So, but yeah, Kingdom of Sorrow is another one that makes 5 projects. So
y'all have chatted about it.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Let me tell you a quick story. I supported the first record, and I remember you guys when you toured. And I remember you were still playing with the band before you had to leave to do down stuff. And you guys did a show in Beaumont, Texas at this little fucking dive bar called the Vortex. And I remember we drove from here, me and my guys drove from here to Beaumont, which is about a 4-hour drive. And we got to this place, and it was this little place, man. I think the stage was like 6 feet off the fucking ground, bro. And I shot some footage that night. I remember Jamey and I had a chat, but I shot some footage from that night, and I remember I loved that record so much, and I was like, man, I'm gonna go out there. If this is as close as they're getting to us, we got to go out there. So we went, man.
I mean, I don't know, necessarily about touring, maybe some festivals and stuff. But, like Jamey and I have talked about it. It's like, there's, like he says, meat on the bone. Like, people are hungry for it. Right. So, and it's a lot of fun, and it's great stuff, so be foolish not to do it.
I care more about the record, I'd rather, see the record and have it and jam it. So good, man. I'm glad that's also might be forthcoming.
Yeah.
As we get near the end of this interview, Kirk, I want to talk to you about what we were chatting about before we started rolling. And that was out your badass fucking solar guitars, bro. There's a lot of musicians who watch our show. So I know a lot of guitar players who watch our show. So talk a little bit about your solar guitars. And let me ask you first, I know you had a new one drop not too long ago, but how did you get involved with solar guitars?
Actually, Marzi, Marzi.
I know Marzi.
Everybody knows Marzi.
Yeah.
Texas, legend.
Yep.
He had hit me up and said, man, these guys make great shit. If you want to, why don't you hit them up? So he gave me an email. I hit them up, and they were like, look, we'll send you one. If you like it, let us know, and we'll talk about maybe a signature series, which I've never had. So they sent me one. I loved it. Hit them back, and they started working on the first one, which I have. I don't even have a production model. I have 3 prototypes. So I have the white one, which was my first one, Explorer shape, one volume knob, one volume knob, one pickup, and I have my purple X shape, which is my main guitar with Crowbar. I'm playing that tonight.
The X1.
Yeah.
For all you tech heads out there, the X1.
And then the Tobacco Sunburst Explorer looking one is the Down signature. I'll probably use that with Down and Sun Don't Shine.
Which one is that one, Kirk, again?
It's a Explorer shape.
Okay.
But instead of reverse headstock, it's got what I call a normal headstock. And it's a little more classic rock-ish looking.
So that one's different than the white one?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
It's a lot different. It's a bridge and tail piece versus a string through body. It's 2 pickups volume and tone instead of one pickup. So same shape, but the white has the reverse headstock,
okay.
and this one has
Right.
the 6 tuners up top like
Right.
normal,
Right. I like the X1, the new one, but I remember when I saw it, I'm like, man, if I had a guitar like that, I'd probably be bumping into everything with those points. And
It's got some crazy. I do.
Yeah,
I
you
hit
gotta be
stuff.
careful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pointy.
Yeah. And you know what I really like about your guitars too is, I mean, they look cool. They have the Nola emblem on the on the neck, really cool, and they're fairly moderately priced. I mean,
They really are for
how
well
for the
built
quality
they
that
are,
you're
yeah.
gonna get.
I mean, they sound great. They stand tuned great. They look great. And to me, especially for touring, that's all I care about.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like I've had very expensive guitars given to me by other guitar companies that sounded like shit, wouldn't stay in tune.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, what do I do with it? Maybe a studio guitar? I don't
Sure.
know. I can't use it. I can't.
Yeah.
So it's very, very, it's very good quality, and it's very reasonably priced for
Right.
like fans, especially younger fans.
Sure.
To save up and
Yeah.
go in with mom and dad helping out for Christmas or some shit and get one, man. So check them out. Solar is
Solar, yeah.
great company. They treat me great.
Where are they from?
Sweden.
Oh, okay.
So it's Ola England's company, and
Oh, really?
yeah.
I didn't
So
know
he
that.
started it, yep.
The
And-
guy who does he does interviews
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
wow.
huge online, yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, you need to get on Coffee with Ola. And I'm like, but yeah, he's the main, the head honcho there. But I think they do production in Spain for cost reasons because Sweden's a very rich country.
Sure.
And Spain's a lot cheaper.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean the quality's not there.
Right,
It's a
right.
smart business thing. But yeah, they're based out of Sweden. So
Yeah, nice.
yeah,
Nice.
I mean, Crowbar did a sold-out show in London back in March, and Joel Trulson, the A&R guy for Solar, he flew out and kind of spent the day with me, and we went over the 2 signatures. It was kind of the debut of the purple X shape, and I had a blast hanging out with him. It was a really great guy.
Cool.
And they're really, really great to me. So I try to promote their product as much
sure.
as possible.
That's why I wanted to talk about it. Mars's fucking guitars, his orange guitar is pretty fucking cool too.
I gotta look at. He's got about 100 signatures. It's like every time I see something like Jesus, he's
got another.
Yeah,
One of the latest ones I've seen is he has an orange one, and it's fucking cool.
I'm gonna have
fucking
to look.
cool. Check it out.
It's so long.
Yeah.
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 Is it the X-shaped one?
I can't quite
I
recall.
saw
Yeah, I
one.
think so.
I think that was a natural wood that was badass.
Yeah.
It really was.
If you go on the Olin show, he's gonna be ready to throw some riffs down.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's gonna want you to play a couple riffs, right?
I'll play some riffs.
Yeah. Tell him the riff lords here. Yeah. All right, Kirk. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate it, man.
One last question. I didn't know what to expect today. It's been so long since I've seen you and had a chat with you, and I see you here conversing with your partner, your wife, who has a wonderful spirit and smile. And I was telling you off camera, you posted things about your life and how you're feeling, and you've kind of foreshadowed during this conversation too about how as we get older, how precious life is, and we've seen how many people, personal friends or acquaintances have we seen kind of fall by the wayside.
Dude, it's tough. I mean, if they're not gone, they're sick with fucking some cancer or some disease, or their just health in general is deteriorated to the point where they can't even enjoy life. You know, so that's why, like, when I'm at home, I do my best to eat healthy and hit the gym, regularly.
Let me tell you a secret. I interviewed Sammy a few months back, right, guys? A few months back, and he says, and I asked him, I said, "How you doing?" He goes, "Rob, I'm great. I feel great." And he said, "I'm 58 years old, but I don't feel 58." And he said, "You want to know my secret?" And I said, "Tell me." He goes, "No soda." That was his secret.
Man.
Yeah, that's what he said.
I mean, I do drink like Coke Zero or diet shit, but I'd like to really cut that out too. Coffee makes me too jittery, so like, having like a Diet Coke or something, And I've made that transition years ago where I can't drink a regular sugary. Like, I avoid sugar as much as possible.
Yeah.
Sugar and carbohydrates. That's what makes you fat, not fat. You know, fat doesn't make you fat. Sugar and carbohydrates do.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, so I got where I can't stand the taste of it has to be a diet drink.
Right.
Because I like that weird diet aftertaste.
Right.
And if I take a sip of regular Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, whatever, or especially them fruity little kid drinks and shit, I can't even drink like Gatorade or Powerade. I have to get the zero sugar one. The other ones just there's so much sugar in everything, and it's terrible for you.
There's I don't know if you ever heard there. I'm glad you don't live in South Texas because there's a soda down here called Big Red. You ever had a Big Red?
I'm thinking a Big Shot. We had some Big Shot cola down.
This is a red soda. It's a red soda. It's made in San Antonio. It's called Big Red, and all the Mexicans down here love it. And of course, it's not good for you. We eat it. It's not good for you. And every time, I love Big Red. I grew up with Big Red. We all did, and I drink maybe like one Big Red, a real Big Red, not a diet one, a real Big Red, probably about one a month. But every time I pick it up, I look at it. It says fucking 47 grams of sugar.
Yeah,
not good.
If I can help it, I don't have any sugar, but I keep my sugar intake to. I try to, as little as possible, but at the most maybe 10 grams of sugar a day.
Wow,
and that's
good.
From waking up to going to sleep.
Yeah.
So it's refined sugar is one of the worst things for you. And people don't understand that. I'm not trying to sound like some health pro or anything, because I'm not. But your liver has to process everything you put into your body. It's not just alcohol, like fatty processed foods and sugary drinks and all these things. Your liver doesn't know the fucking difference. It just knows as garbage. It needs to filter out, and take care of. So. And then when you do both things, like drink and eat shitty food. So I try to eat healthy when I'm on tour, so I can enjoy some beer. But I don't thankfully drink anything like I used to.
And drink lots of water.
Oh yeah,
Drink lots of water.
4 or 5 waters today.
Yeah. Good, man. Good. Well, back to my fucking question. My question was, I stated at the beginning of this interview, you've had a long career, started in '89 in the New Orleans scene. We sit here now, 35 years into your career. Let me ask you, did you think you'd still be doing it at this point of your life?
I hoped to. I'll say that. So I'm very blessed. But, my goal was never to be a rock star or, be rich. I mean, I'll take the money if it's there, of course. But,
sure.
But I wanted longevity. I wanted to be able to do what I love forever, and I've been able to do it so far. So that's the best blessing you can have, man.
Yeah. As long as you continues to make you happy and fulfilled.
Oh, it does. I get excited before every show, before every tour.
Yeah.
If you at my age. And especially, I'm not some arena band. It's like at my age, if you're not really passionate about it, you don't really love what you're doing, then just quit, because it's hard. I mean, touring on the level that I do, and
sure.
I mean, we're the epitome. Perfect example of a true DIY, do-it-yourself band. We don't have guitar techs. We have nothing. We have Robin. She tour manages for us, my wife. She does merchandise. We do everything else ourselves. So that means when it's load-in time, we're all out there doing our shit. When the show's over, we break down our own stuff, and you know what? You make a hell of a lot more money doing it yourself. It's good, honest, hard days work.
Yeah.
And that keeps you young and keeps you healthy.
Yeah.
So
and the bandwagon works too, and you don't need a bus.
For us, it's great, man.
Yeah, you don't need a big old bus.
It's only 5 of us back here. Yeah. The driver lives up, in the cab area, and so for us, there's plenty of room. I mean, we got 4 people here right now. We're fine.
It's nice and cool in here.
Yeah, I think we only got 1 unit on too.
Yeah.
So in the summertime, you could put all 3 of these units. They will freeze up. You gotta take turns with them, but you can get a freeze in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
You can be in the Arizona desert, in August, and it's comfortable. So,
Yeah. Well, that's good, man.
Yeah, man. I just took a shower early. It's got a full size, like a normal Motel 6 shower or some shit, but it's all we need. We fill up fresh water to shower with. We keep fridge and freezer stocked up with, healthy shit. Some of us do. I try to. And, we make Walmart runs every couple of days and get the stuff that we need to eat. And also, really, we don't have to eat from out. We stopped at Buc-ee's last night. When you're in Texas, you have to go to Buc-ee's. So it was late, but we got some pre-made. I got a brisket sandwich.
Yeah, that shit's good.
Yeah, and it was really good. And like grilled chicken, little soft tacos with onions and peppers and whatnot. It was really good for a little late night snack.
Nice.
Usually I don't do that, but sometimes it's like I'm in fucking Texas, man. They're like, somebody's like, they got a late night taco place around here. I'm like, well, that might be hitting that.
Yeah. Well, Kirk, I know that you still have several more dates on this run. I wish you the best. Stay safe on the road, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
See you again.
Likewise. Thank you so much for really sharing a lot with our viewers around the world. Any last words? Anything I missed?
Just, thanks to all the people for all these years of support, and for Crowbar down and everything that I do, and I hope to do it forever. So
yeah, we'll always be here to support you, man, and hopefully we don't have to wait 25 years till the next time to have a chat.
I don't know if I'll be here. I'm trying.
No, I'm saying next year or the year after.
Yeah, exactly.
When the second solo record comes out.
As long as I can, man.
Yeah.
I started looking at myself during the pandemic, and I was like fat as fuck, drinking a fucking case of beer a day, ordering pizza, everything. You couldn't do anything. So, and one day I just said, man, you ain't gonna make it, You can't be that overweight and drink that much every fucking day.
It would be a sad thing if you died during the pandemic and not from corona.
True. Due to fatness,
fucking heart attack.
Eating shit and drinking,
Exactly.
Exactly. And I'm sure a lot of motherfuckers did, unfortunately,
Oh yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Kirk.
Thank you, brother.
Remember, everyone out there, the man has down work, solo work, Crowbar work coming out in 2025. Be sure to follow them on social media. You saw the man, Kirk Windstein of Crowbar, right here on Rob's Metalworks.